What's going on, guys? Dan back here with the Regular Guy Garage. So it's Wednesday, it's a track day down here at Thunder Valley, and what I'm going to try and do with the car is get a rev limiter set up. There's a two-step that's built into this Holley system. I kind of already tinkered with it to try and get one set up, but it didn't really come out the way that I wanted it to, so I'm going to try and hook it up in a different way. Additionally, we got the 28-inch tall tires back on the car, so we are going to see if there's really any difference between those 26s and the 28s. Now in reality, I would say the 28s would then show us some sort of difference that we would see when we actually put a taller gear in the car, because the 28-inch tall tire will actually give us, you know, more mile an hour, I believe. With the 26, our max mile an hour was like 113. Now we're in like the 122 range. To be quite honest, I honestly think it's going to run a little slower than 60 foot, but I think it's going to pick up a mile an hour on the back end. We'll see if I'm right. Who knows? Additionally, I noticed, to be quite honest, it might go faster as a whole, because I did notice I was about a quart low on automatic transmission fluid. Somebody kind of mentioned it, like, hey, do you put additional fluid in when you're racing? And so I was like, you know what, let me just check the fluid, because it's been a minute since I, checked it, and it was actually a full quart low. So hopefully we didn't do any damage to the transmission. I really don't think we did. I took it for like a quick pull yesterday and it was fine. But to be quite honest, now when I look at the log, there are some spots where the RPM will kind of like spike on its way up, and I think that's maybe, some transmission slip. But anyway, really quick, I'll show you how I'm going to hook this up, and we'll see if it's going to work. We're going to load the car up, head down the racetrack, and we'll have some racing content here in a minute. The other thing that we're doing, I'm adding a ground to the engine, from the engine block to the chassis. There's already one on the driver's side. I'm just going to put one on the passenger side, just because moving this battery to the rear, I've been having some hard start conditions when the temperature gets up. So I think adding this ground is really going to help us out with that. Alright, so to see how I actually set this up, it was very simple, and then I'll go ahead and show you how to check it to make sure your button is actually working. So basically all I did, and don't mind this, I just hooked it up really fast, so it looks really ugly right now. Basically, here's my button right here. The red and the black don't really mind. Basically, what's happening here is this white and red wire is input number 2. So I have one side of the switch running to that. The other side of the switch, which, I mean, I did it backwards, but whatever, is the red wire, which is running to the ground. It's just running to a ground, which is for the Holley Terminator, the actual wiring harness. And so then what you're going to do is come up into your actual software. So then go ahead and come up into your software. What you need to do is go to I/O first, all right? And right here, if you look at input number 2, I just named it 2-step. It is ground activated, since that is a ground. Click enable, and then also go to the spark section, rev limiters, rev limiter number 1, click enable. I have it on spark high only, but I'm actually going to play with this for a second. For now, I just have it at 2,000 RPM, so it's active, it's enabled. Go to the pin map, and now these two are basically going to be up here. So, in here, let me do it really quick. So, no, I'm logged online, so I'm online with the car, so it won't let me do it. But these two are going to be up here. It's really simple. You're at input number 2. That white and red wire is input number 2. And then on the I/O page, input number 2. Drag them straight down into here. Now they're pinned correctly. These are both ground activated, so you can stack them on top of each other. So now, when I hit the button for 2-step, it's going to activate that rev limiter when the engine's running. So basically, if you come down here, if you notice, I just have a couple things in there. To set this up, click the E. Click the E. It's going to pull you up this map. And then right down here, basically what you do is you find the ones that you need and just drag them over here to create your own little data monitor setup. And then you scroll through here to find it. Now, to make sure that it's working, all we're going to do is, so I'm hooked up to the car, I'm just going to hit the button and we should see the green light come on. And there we go. So the 2-step button is working. I think the rev limiter number 1 isn't, it even looks like it's a darker color gray. I think it's because the engine's not running. So let's go ahead and fire the engine up. We'll bring it up to temp a little bit, and then we'll see if this thing actually works. right, so it worked, but it didn't necessarily work the way that I thought it was gonna work. It kind of hit the rev limiter pretty hard, and I tried to kind of mess with it so that it would basically shut on and off within like 10 RPM of each other. And I don't know, it just wasn't working. It seems like it's put a little bit of stress on the motor too, so I'm just not gonna use it, and you know, we'll go from there. So we get the car set up, we'll get it loaded on the trailer. If maybe somebody knows or has seen how to hook this thing up to get it to work or function better, that would be cool. But I mean, we're just not gonna use it. So anyway, we get loaded up and we'll pick it back up from the track here in a minute. All right, so let's go over the time slip really quick. I only ran one time when I was actually up there at the line. The wind was blowing really bad down there at the track, and it was blowing dust and dirt and everything all over the track. When I actually did my burnout, the guy opened my door and he was like, "Hey dude, be careful going down the track. There's a lot of dirt and dust on it." And to be quite honest, the car skated all over the track. I'm sure you might have seen it by the video. But the fact that it was skating all over the track, which means we were losing a little bit of traction here and there, the car actually went pretty good. And so we did a 681 at 103.3 with a very slow 60 foot, 1.62. Like I said, to be quite honest, with the fact that we were slipping on that track so much, the car, you know, it ran pretty good. It felt good. I had to do a lot of steering input, like left and right going down the track, as you saw in the video. But didn't really want to. I wanted to turn it up, but with the way that the track was, I mean, it just wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to do it. Plus, the wife came out, so that would just be my luck, where I would, you know, put the thing in the wall or something, just trying to get out there and turn it up. So, you know, we got to run it one time. The car felt good. I think I need to pull the plugs out and check them. After I did the burnout, the car shut off, and it had a hard time firing back up, which I've had happen in the past. And ended up being spark plugs in the past. And to be quite honest, I think the ignition system, the stock ignition system in general, I think we're just, you know, I think we need to upgrade, to be quite honest. Anyway, car ran good. We have more coming this week with this car. So local guy did hit me up, said he has a dyno in his, I guess, garage or house or something. So we're gonna get the car down there on the dyno, hang out with him for a little bit. His name's Josh from the Underground Garage. He has a, I've said it before, really fast. It's an LS twin turbo Mustang, FOXBODY, super fast car. So I'm anxious to see that. I've seen it run down the track before, haven't really seen it up close in person. You know, hang out for a little bit, put the car on the dyno. I need some, what I'm gonna do is get the base table set right, turn up the boost, make sure our fuel and everything is good there, and we'll get some horsepower numbers, so that'll be nice too. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, follow the race car content plus the Chevy C10 stuff. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't follow me on Instagram, @RegularGuyGarage. As always, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.